I learned my lesson with that one, because I will never, anytime somebody asks me about my solar panels, I'm straight up like, don't do it. You will fucking regret it. It's a huge mistake. It's a fucking scam. But it sucks because there's actually people that have good experience with solar panels and they work great for them and they had a great experience in a great company. I don't know if what happened to me is like the norm. Like I said, somebody else sued the same company and the same thing had happened to them. So then that makes me think, okay, well, it made me feel a little bit like better. I don't know, that's wrong, but it made me feel better to think, okay, it's not just me. I'm not a fucking idiot. Like, it happened to other people too. But yeah, anybody ever asked me about solar, I'm like, don't do it.
Tell us your biggest money mistake you've ever made.
Biggest money mistake would have to be the investment in the solar panels.
Oh, what'd you spend on the solar panels?
It's $36,000.
On a loan?
Even, yeah.
Nothing down?
Nothing down.
Have you told your kids about the solar panels? Have you explained that to them?
Oh yeah, they're living it with us.
What do they think about the solar panels?
They are mad that we did it. Our son actually bought us tickets to this conference, so.
Your son bought you tickets to be like, don't ever do something like this again. Go to the Smart Conference. We're going to send you there.
Yeah.
Well, you're raising great kids.
Yes, we are very thankful.
That's a great sign.
Installing solar was one of the worst decisions I ever made. I thought it was going to save me money, but it put me in more debt than I've ever been.
They told me I was going to get a $10,000 check.
They didn't give me enough panels.
They went out of business. They damaged my roof.
They forged my signature. They never turned my solar on.
They stopped taking my calls.
If you regret going solar, watch this. I thought solar was going to lower my bills. Instead, I ended up with payments I wasn't expecting and an agreement I didn't fully understand. If you're feeling stuck, you're not alone. Go to solarfacts.org and get a free solar agreement review. Before you make another payment, find out what options may be available to you.
And I have solar panels, which still don't make sense to me how I got an electric bill for $550 when I have solar panels. When I got my solar panels installed years ago, my bill was under $75. Now my bill is $550 with the same solar panels. I checked them. I had to say, let me see if my panels are still working. The panels are still working and my bill is $550. I'm trying to figure out why my office electricity is $249 when I check for the electric bill. I'm only at this office a couple times out the week because I have a studio too. And somehow my electric bill out here was $249. And I'm only here maybe 3 or 4 days a week, give or take. And nobody else is here like all day. Nobody's here. So why is the electric bill $250? Why is my home electric bill $550? I'm still trying to figure that out. I know that Trump and all of these tariff talk and all this stuff is only a Ponzi scheme for him to get richer.
Oh my God, what is this? Problem 1, problem 2. Who forgot to tighten that up? Problem 4, lefty loosey. Good job they had silicon. Look out below, no cable ties. Which one's upside down? Where's the slate?
So the solar company told us that our panels would pay for themselves. But what they didn't tell us is that they were going to put a UCC1 lien on the panels. I can explain that better in another video. They also didn't say that they were going to front load the loan that we got, meaning that $100,000 loan I was talking about in the last video is actually $257,000 we will be paying for solar panels. And finally, you will still owe on those panels, even if they don't work. Or if the company disappears, like mine. They went out of business. I'm still making the payments.
These solar fuckers keep calling me, so I'm about to fuck the game up. Let me tell you why solar is fucking stupid as hell. I'm not gonna put a 30-year fucking loan on my credit and waste up my debt to income ratio for fucking solar panels. The panels, they're not even connected to your battery if you get a battery. So you think, oh, the power goes out, I'm gonna be fine because my panels are gonna charge the battery. Nope. Panels connected directly to the grid. The battery is also connected directly to the grid. So if you don't get power back on, your battery's not going to charge again. Your solar panels are fucking worthless. And what the hell was the point of that? Their main thing is, oh, you're going to lock in your rates. You're going to lock in the rates that you have right now. Rates are going to go up for sure. Yes, they're definitely going to go up. But what y'all are charging for the damn solar panels is fucking outrageous. You can go on Amazon right now and get a fucking DIY solar panel kit for like literally a tenth of the fucking cost. I'd rather fucking DIY van life solar panels than fucking pay y'all motherfuckers $40,000 for your bullshit ass solar, just out of hope that you're gonna lower your electric bill, which by the way, it's gonna be the same price for the next 30 years that you're paying right now, because you're gonna be paying the solar panel loan plus your electric bill. 9 times out of 10, people still have an electric bill. It's usually like $50 to $100, depending on the size of the house and depending on how many panels you can put in there. It might be good for some, but it ain't good for me in my case. The panels was gonna cost $30,000 for just panels. It was only gonna cover half of my electric bill. So I'm going to be paying $150 a month for panels, and I'm still going to be paying about $150 a month for the electricity. No.
Are solar panels a blessing or a curse? Hi, I'm Nick Furios, the Real Estate Greek, longtime Central Florida broker. Let's talk about what you need to know before buying or selling a home in Florida with solar panels. Unless the solar panel system is paid off, which most aren't, that monthly solar payment counts as debt, unlike a utility bill. This can push a buyer's DTI or debt-to-income ratio much higher than it normally would have been if they just had a utility payment, which means many buyers may not be able to qualify for your home, which also means it's going to limit the number of buyers you're going to have available to purchase it. The research shows that solar panels in Florida last for about 25 years and start losing its effectiveness around 15 years. So by the 20-year mark, it's known that possibly you can have about a 25% decline in efficiency output in the solar panel system if it was well maintained. And if it wasn't well maintained, that could be as much as 50% deficiency rating. Well, how about roof issues? Mounting anything on your roof in Florida eventually will bring the leaks. Not to mention, solar panel companies should not be installing panels on the roof that is older than 10 years. And here's the kicker. When it's time to replace your roof, you'll pay a solar panel company an estimated $300 to $350 per panel to remove and reinstall them after your roof has been replaced. That could be as much as $6,000 to $12,000 depending on the size of your system. Insurance companies aren't fans of solar panels either. The panels are vulnerable to Florida's high winds and hail and extreme weather, and when obtaining insurance, expect higher premiums or specialized riders, and some insurers won't even cover them at all, especially if you're doing a net metering with your power company. That's when you're sending any unused power from the solar panels back to the grid. Most systems we come across are transferable to the new buyer, assuming that the seller is on a payment plan, but the buyer would have to qualify for that system. And assuming the buyer does qualify, is there a transfer fee and who pays for it? Is there a maintenance plan? What happens if a part goes bad or if there's an additional cost that may need to be addressed? All these questions complicate every transaction, and if you're buying or selling a home with solar panels, I recommend getting all the facts either prior to or during the inspection period of your contract. We recommend to our agents, whether working with the seller or the buyer, to use our attorney-prepared solar panel addendum, which discloses the main details of the systems between the solar panel company and that seller. Bottom line is, in today's market, solar panels, in my opinion, if they're not paid off, and even then, are more of a curse than a blessing when selling your home.
We're finally getting our solar panels removed because they never did what was promised.
We're finally getting our solar panels removed because the salesperson lied to us.
I was promised I would save money, and that never happened.
I was paying for something that never did what they told me it would.
This solar nightmare is finally over.
I'm so glad I took action and was able to find a way out.
Contact my solar claim and explore your options if you want out.
Every day people contact us and ask us to quote on so many panels, the size inverter, that size batteries. And actually that's not the right way to go about it. We're seeing this right across the industry in South Africa, where people are getting quotes on solar, and then they run to 3 or 4 different installers to try and get competitive prices and think that's how they're going to solve their problem. That's not the way to solve the problem. If you really want to get the benefit of solar, where you're actually generating energy for yourself, where your solar system is actually an energy generating plant, and you can move towards, you can either go off the grid straight away or just move in that general direction and start saving money from day one, then the right way to go about it is to actually fully analyze what you need. And that's what we do at Power in the Box. We analyze what you need and what your requirements are, and then we design a system around your requirements. And then once we've installed it, we calibrate it and guarantee whatever results we have offered you. Just this week, I heard another sad tale of one of our clients in Waterford City in Midrand, who spent nearly 200,000 Rand 2 years ago on a solar system, and he's not seen the benefit. He's not seen his electricity account come down at all. And that's when we investigate, we see that his array of panels are not wired correctly. He had the wrong kind of inverter and the wrong amount of batteries. And I won't even talk about how compliant his system was not. But we're seeing this over and over again. So please, before you install a system,
off-grid systems going wrong. We're getting a lot of these coming in. Companies that are trying their hand at doing off-grid. There's a huge difference in doing off-grid and somebody doing panels on the house that's grid-tied. The thing about it is you can get away with a lot of things whenever you're to the grid. If the battery's not completely up to scratch or the solar's not up to scratch, you can go back on the grid. Whenever you're off grid, that has to be right. And I think what's happening is people are seeing somebody that's fit at solar and think, so well, they should be able to do off grid, I'll get them to do it. And it sounds like they can be cheaper. And why are they cheaper? Because they're cutting corners. They might not be knowingly cutting corners, but they are. And then there's an issue, and then it goes round to a company like ourselves. We're seeing a lot of people coming and saying, can you fix this here? Now that ends up costing the customer a lot of money. Get it done right at the start with a company that is known for doing off-grid installations. Don't just think because somebody fits solar that they can do off-grid.
About solar panels gone wrong, because California is proposing a blatant seizure of property in its new solar ruling that forces people to sell their additional solar and energy to the electric company and then buy it back at higher prices. And I wanted to clarify, this isn't a nonsense magazine. This is PV Magazine, Photovoltaic Magazine. They're about as pro-solar as you can get. But the way this works, the California Public Utilities Commission wants to vote on what they describe a virtual net energy metering program that would force renters to sell solar generation to the utility company and then buy it back at a higher rate, and outlawing them from consuming their own energy directly, even if it's stored on their own batteries. And this is specifically for renters, which I find bizarre. If you're a homeowner and you own your own home and you have your own stuff, you don't have to do this yet. But if you live in any of the 90 billion apartments in California that have these, you cannot use your own solar electricity. So the decision would disallow residents of multi-meter properties to consume their own rooftop solar production, even if they own the solar array. The customers must first sell their solar production back to the utility company and then buy it back at higher rates. The Solar Rights Alliance, which I didn't even know was a thing, says the California Public Utility Commission is proposing a blatant seizure of property because these people, these renters, even if they own their panels, even if the building owners own the panels for that matter, the landlords, so to speak, and they have the Tesla wall or the batteries or the long-term storage, they cannot consume the energy directly out of their own batteries. They have to sell virtual energy to the electric company and then consume their own energy at an increased price, which I think is absolute nonsense. And I actually do agree that that sounds like a blatant seizure of property. And what it really sounds like to me, here's a good way to say it. Under this scheme, multi-meter customers, renters, would lose all of the savings that single-family homeowners get, and utility companies would win. So yeah, this sounds terrible to me and really boneheaded, which shouldn't be surprising given where these kind of decisions come from. But California's got a good thing in going green, and a lot of these apartment complexes save money by going green. They could, in theory, offer lower rent or even turn a higher profit for the landlords, depending on which ideology you think is good about that. But it's bizarre to me that you collect the energy and store it in your own batteries and it's now illegal to use that. It makes owning and managing solar harder, which is counter to almost all public policy that I see outside of Texas, that we're trying to make this easier and cheaper, not harder for people to get into.
For the love of God, stop putting solar panels on your house unless you're paying cash. I cannot physically handle it anymore. I just had a client that had to bring $34,000 to the closing table in order to pay off their solar panel loan. I feel physically ill over that. It adds no value. Zero value. Buyers don't care, appraisers don't care, mortgage companies don't care. They're not going to add value to your house.
You want to see a real estate agent run? Is tell them that there is a loan on the solar panels on your house, and then you want top dollar for it, and you don't have the money to pay the panels off. I had a client not too long ago. They had a house that was 2 years old with brand new builds next to it. They had put solar panels on top of it. They wanted the same price as the new build. The new build was, which is the exact same house, just built a year or two later. The new build had a new warranty. It had a buy down, a credit, had all these things coming along with the house. They wanted the same price for their house in order to break even to get out and go to where they were having to move to. Well, they had a $40,000 second note on top of it for solar panels. So they were going to have to sell the house for like $260 minus closing costs. So it's going to be well below $260. They had 2 brand new cars sitting in the driveway and no money. And I was like, welcome to foreclosure, because you can't pay for your way out, because you can't pay at the closing table to bring 40 grand. Your house is not worth enough to pay it out of the equity. Nobody wants to assume the note for the solar panels because, one, they'd have to qualify for $40,000 more than the $300,000 for the house. They're not going to pay them off at the closing table. So what is it you want to do? The house is unsellable. It's stuck. Are you going to give it back to them? Can't pay your way out. The house is unsellable, and you have to drop the listing. So an agent knows the house is unsellable. You got to know these things. You gotta know your numbers of your property when you purchase it, and then sticking solar. And I could tell that one solar panel salesman had gotten the entire neighborhood, because you go in the neighborhood and you just see a wall of the same thing on the same type of house, because they're all cookie cutter all the way down, and they've all got these solar panels. I'm like, yeah, congratulations, your solar is $20 a month, okay? And then you've got a 25-year note on these solar panels, and the warranty, they're not going to be warranted. The solar company is going to be gone in 20 years, okay? Whenever you need these things warranted, good luck. They change these solar panels out, these solar panel companies out so much that you can never figure out who the warranty is with. It's crazy.
This right here was a Tesla solar nightmare. Customer got panels from Tesla. Couple years down the road, his roof fails and it needs to be replaced. He tries to contact Tesla to have the solar panels removed so the roofers can do their job, and he can't get anybody to come out or respond to him. So he finds a certified Tesla installer and has them remove the system off his home, and he has his roof replaced. Then when it's time to get that system put back on his home, he contacts the Tesla and the certified installer, and they won't reinstall the system. From there, he has absolutely no idea what to do. He calls me, and we try to order the additional components that we need in order to reinstall the system. So the hardware comes with these feet that sit on a puck. It's a plastic and metal component that screws into the deck of the roof, and then is sealed off. So we tried to order them, and for months and months and months, we cannot get anybody from Tesla on the phone. We cannot get the system ordered. And when we actually do get the product ordered, it just never shows up. I reached out to one of my friends at Sunmoto, and they were able to provide all new hardware for the entire system for free, pro bono, and they had it at the job site within 7 days, and we have the system reinstalled and turned back on. This is just an example of a nightmare situation that can happen with Tesla Solar because they don't really service or warranty their systems. And so if you need repairs done or panels added or additional batteries or car chargers or anything, it's gonna be hell trying to get that addition or the issue sorted out. It's unfortunate that the responsibility to push the industry forward falls on the backs of a limited amount of people who are willing to answer their phone and help people out. So I just wanted to do a shout out for Sunmoto as a thank you. These solar panels would not be on this roof and they would not be producing electricity right now if it wasn't for them and for their generosity. If you have not seen their new setup, it is sick. It is the sexiest rooftop solar panel attachment system I have ever seen.